doesn't work sometimes. I'm struggling with my faith. I'm disturbed. They even pray. They say, oh God, I can't tell anybody this. But you know how I feel. They think they're being humble. No. In the realm of the spirit, you are not allowed to vacillate. Are you hearing me? In the realm of the spirit, your confession must be maintained. You don't change your course. When he says turn not to the right hand or to the left, he meant exactly what he says. You hold on to that image. You keep in focus. He says, if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. Don't draw back. Don't draw back. Sometimes we wonder why some of our friends and colleagues or relations, people that we know, have a life that's questionable. We say, but we know him. He is so faithful to God. He's so consistent in the house of God. I've known this fellow for many years. I just wonder why his life is turning out like this. Doesn't God understand that he's a faithful person? Doesn't God understand that this brother is so wonderful? Why doesn't God look at him and do something for him? You might even be that person in that condition and you say, oh, I'm so faithful to God, but why doesn't God do something for me? During the partners conference, one of the things I was sharing with them was that there's a great difference between faith and faithfulness. Now, God loves your faithfulness. And faithfulness is fruit of the Spirit. God expects you to be faithful. You see, you will grow in the things of God if you're faithful. It's wonderful. But you know what? Even though you're growing, the cancer can be growing with you. Even though you're growing, your poverty can be growing with you. Even though you're growing, the state in which you found yourself can be growing with you. Your problems can be growing with you. Are you listening to me? And they will not change, because faithfulness does not change your circumstances. It's faith that changes your circumstances. That's why some preachers can't understand why they're going through a rough time. They say, things just don't change. I just never get the money that I need for the things I want to do. I just never get the right situation for the things that I want to do. I can't understand why my children go through this and my wife goes through that and the church goes through this and the ministry goes through that. I can't understand. How can you understand? Yes, you've been faithful to God, but faithfulness will never change your situation according to the Bible. And until you understand it, you'll be banking on your faithfulness to cause a change. It's like a man going to the bank with sheets of paper from his notebook, and he can't understand why they will not give him money on the papers. He says, but I brought these papers to you. Why don't they say, no, even though it's a paper and this check is a paper, both of them are different. The check is from a book. Okay? This paper is from a book. They're manufactured from the same thing, but there's something printed on both of them that are different. Don't you understand? Faith is not faithfulness. That's why a guy who has just given his life to Christ can get things changed. He was just born again last week. And somehow he's working out things in his life. And somebody else who's been a Christian some donkey years can't understand why his life has been this way. What's the difference? You can't even measure his faithfulness in 1 week. He's not even had enough time to be faithful, but he's got faith. Faith is for now. Faith is not measured in the past. Faith is measured in the now. It's not yesterday's faith. It's not tomorrow's faith. Faith is for now, and it works now. Faithfulness is from yesterday to today. You see it? Are you still there? If many of God's people understood that, it'll change their lives. Faith has something to do with what you say. Faith has something to do with what you believe. But if you believe wrong, you would think wrong. And if you think wrong, you would talk wrong. And if you talk wrong, you walk wrong. You walk wrong, you die wrong. You still there? You just read it. The world is yours. It's yours. Oh my goodness. He just said it. We read it. We read it. No, you are chasing a contract. And because they are refusing to give you the money on that contract, you feel like dying. Now look at you. The mentality matters. You've come to, you see, you need to understand who you really are. He says, as you behold the glory of God, he says, we are with open face, beholding as in a mirror the glory of the Lord, are changed into what we see. He says, as we see it, we see the glory of God in the mirror. We are changed into that image that we see in the mirror. But what are we looking at? He says it's the glory of God we're looking at in the mirror. As we see it in the mirror, we are changed. But if you look at a mirror, you see yourself. And he is telling you that the guy you've seen on the other side of the mirror, oh my goodness, boy, do I love this. You know what? Here you are, you're dressed, you stand in front of a mirror, you think you're putting on a black suit, but you stand in front of the mirror, it looks red. So you say, hold on a minute. You turn away